What if I told you that the people we call the chosen ones weren't chosen at all? What if they chose themselves through quiet acts of courage, through silent battles no one ever saw? See, we like to imagine that greatness is bestowed like some kind of cosmic lottery, that some are born to rise while others are left behind. But the truth is far more mysterious and far more personal. The chosen ones aren't born. They're built. They're shaped by invisible trials, tests that don't look like tests, tests that come wrapped in loss, in silence, in questions without answers, the kind of challenges that don't shout, they whisper. And most people, they never hear the call. But for those who do, something shifts, something awakens. This journey doesn't start with applause. It begins in the quiet, with a pull you can't explain, a weight in your chest that won't go away. You're not chasing glory, you're chasing truth, and truth demands everything. Test 1. The mirror of truth. The first test doesn't come with fanfare. It comes with a mirror. Not a literal one, but a moment, a situation, a breakdown that rips the image of who you think you are into pieces. Because before you can become who you were meant to be, you have to meet who you really are. Most people live behind masks. We wear them to survive, to fit in, to be loved. We convince ourselves that these masks are us, that our careers, our status, our Instagram bios define us. But the first test strips all of that away. It's raw, it's uncomfortable, and it's terrifying. Because when you look into the mirror with nothing left to hide behind, you're faced with the hardest question of all. Who am I without all of this? Some look away. They can't handle the naked truth, so they run, back into distractions, back into the noise. But the chosen ones, they stay. They stand still. They don't blink. They let the old self fall apart, and from the wreckage, they begin again. Test 2. The silence of isolation. Once the mask is gone, you enter the second test, isolation. Not just physical solitude. This is a deeper kind of aloneness. A spiritual detachment. A space where no one can follow, no matter how close they are. In a world that constantly bombards us with opinions, updates, and noise, choosing silence is radical. But this silence, it's not empty. It's pregnant with clarity. Only in the absence of noise can you hear the voice that's always been there, quiet, persistent, your inner voice. And for the first time, it speaks without interruption. But hearing it isn't easy, because it doesn't flatter you. It doesn't soothe your ego. It tells the truth. It reveals your fears, your wounds, your hidden longings. And most people, when they hear it, they drown it out again. They run back to the noise. But the chosen ones, they lean in. They listen, even when it hurts. They make peace with their own company. And in doing so, they discover a presence that's never left them. Test 3. The weight of letting go. Now comes the third test, and it's not a moment, it's a lifestyle. Letting go. We hold on to so much. Old pain, future fantasies, identities we've outgrown. We cling out of fear, fear of losing what little control we think we have. But every time you cling, you suffer. Letting go isn't about apathy. It's not about giving up. It's about trusting that what is meant for you will never require you to chase, beg, or betray yourself. This is the test that humbles even the wise, because just when you think you've surrendered enough, life asks for more. Can you release the need to be right, to be seen, to have closure? Can you let go even when your heart screams no? The chosen ones don't let go because it's easy. They let go because freedom matters more than control. Test 4. The descent into darkness. And then when you've stripped away your identity, when you've embraced the silence and let go of what you clung to, life pulls the rug from under you. This is the dark night of the soul. Nothing makes sense. The beliefs that once guided you, Gone. The dreams that fueled you. Collapsed. You feel like a ghost in your own life. You question everything, including your own sanity. This is not depression. This is not burnout. This is spiritual disintegration, and it's necessary. Because the ego doesn't go quietly. It resists, it fights, it wants to hold on to the old self at any cost. But this darkness, it's not here to destroy you. It's here to dissolve what no longer serves you. You are being emptied to be refilled. Most people don't survive this test, not because they die, but because they retreat. They numb themselves, they settle. But the chosen ones? They walk through the darkness. They carry a flame inside, a quiet knowing that says, this is not the end. This is the rebirth. Test 5. The fire of faith. If the dark night of the soul strips you down, the fifth test demands your allegiance. Faith. Not belief in a doctrine. Not blind hope. Faith in yourself. Faith in life. Faith in something bigger than your understanding. You must believe without proof. You must trust without guarantees. Because nothing on the outside will validate your journey. In fact, the more you grow, the less normal you'll feel. The world won't understand you. Friends may drift, family might question you, but that's the cost of evolution. And still, you hold on. You keep walking even when your legs shake. You keep believing even when your mind doubts. This kind of faith isn't loud. It's not always confident. Sometimes it's nothing more than a whisper. Keep going. And that whisper is enough. Test 6, the art of surrender. After all the battles, all the questions, all the unraveling, comes the final test. Surrender. Not as defeat, but as transcendence. Surrender isn't giving up. It's letting go of the illusion that you were ever in control. We try so hard to script our lives. We obsess over timing, outcomes, validation. But life doesn't follow scripts. It follows FLOW. And flow can't be forced. It can only be followed. To surrender is to stop resisting, to stop fighting the current, to open your hands and say, I trust. I trust the process. I trust the detours. I trust the timing, even when it makes no sense. And in that trust, you become light. Not because life gets easier, but because you become softer, more open, more real. You stop chasing and you start aligning. You stop controlling and you start receiving. And what you receive is far greater than anything you could have planned. So now I'll ask you, have you heard the whisper? Have you faced the mirror? Have you walked through the silence, the isolation, the letting go? Have you endured the darkness without losing your flame? Do you still believe even when there's no proof? And are you ready to surrender? Because the chosen ones aren't chosen. They choose. They choose to listen, to trust, to rise again and again. And if you're still here, still walking, maybe it's because you were never meant to fit in. Maybe you were meant to rise. Thank you for joining us on our journey. For more content, please hit the subscribe button.